Alright, so, I'm going to be doing a review of Avengers Blood Hunt. This is Volume 3 of Jed MacKay's Avengers run, which I've been really enjoying, as well as this acts as a tie-in to the Blood Hunt event. Chris sent me this book, as always. Thank you once again, bro. And yeah, I now have like 3 of those tie-ins now because they've been books Chris has already been having me follow for a while. The other 2 being Vengeance of the Moon Knight and Fantastic Four. I still need the Doctor Strange one because that's the end of the Jed MacKay run, on a whole, I think. But yeah, anyway, what was I going? Oh yes, so. This is not only just a tie-in with Blood Hunt, this is also a few other things. One being that it's a 5-part comic, but the first 2 parts act as what the Avengers were up to during Fall of X, during the end of the Krakoa era. And this basically also ties into what Tony's been up to in the Jerry Duggan Iron Man run. Basically, Tony has been trying to get the other Avengers into position to strike at Orchis to help the X-Men, because he's been stupping Emma Frost, and also to another extent, there's also the matter of the Orchis member Fei Long also at war with him and making the Stark Sentinels. So this 2-parter is basically Avengers striking at Orchis and the stopping the flow of Stark Sentinels. This also reintroduces 3D Man, who is like a C-tier Avenger character who basically was joined up with Orchis. We do find out why and how he joined Orchis in here, and he actually does, like Jed MacKay actually, again, it kind of shows that Jed MacKay knows how to use lesser-known characters. He clearly loves playing in the toy box, and it very much shows that this dude absolutely adores, making these writing these characters as is. So that first 2-parter is pretty fun, and but the main meat of this story is the Avengers tie-in to Blood Hunt. Now remember, in Blood Hunt, the main Avengers team, led by Carol, has taken a major hit in that Blade has been, who, I'm just going to spoil it, was possessed by Varney. It was a whole thing, and T'Challa got turned into a vampire. The Avengers are trying to deal with the main situation. So Jed MacKay does a pretty cool tie-in in here, in that even though it's not his Avengers team, there's still going to be an Avengers team leading this group. This also feels like it acts as a backdoor pilot to Steve Orlando's Avengers Assemble, which I've heard nothing but good things about. So that's the main crux of this story, is Steve Rogers is front and center in this book as he basically puts out a APB to every other Avenger saying, hey, Carol's team is dealing with the main situation. I need Avengers to help clean up the streets. So Hazmat, Kate Bishop, Quicksilver, and Hercules answer the call and join Steve Rogers as he's boots on the ground trying to repel the vampire invasion. But it turns out that there's someone coordinating all of these attacks on New York, that being the classic Steve Rogers villain, Baron Blood, the Nazi vampire. So yes, we have Avengers versus Nazi vampires. I really enjoy it. It's nothing like too deep. It's not a too deep of a book. It's more of a let's have fun adventure kind of comic. I also love how Steve basically is like, I've got all of these Avengers coming together, and we're going to kick some Nazi ass. There's also a great panel in here in this Avengers book, which you've probably seen on, scattered about online, where the other Avengers members are killing vampires, and they're like, yeah, it's better not be a bloodsucker, and Hercules is like, damn them and their Darkhold for making Varney and all that. That's kind of the little hint that should have been leading to, oh, it was Varney the whole time. But Cap actually says, don't get carried away. I've known good vampires, people who don't want to inflict their pain on others and, are actual heroes. I've never known a good Nazi. So I really do like that, because Steve actually has a weird connection to vampires. There was a point in some comics where he's hung out with a few vampire communes. He's basically been around other people of the supernatural variety, and I love how they bring up that this version of Cap's shield is laced with silver, because he brings it up as like, oh, I made this after I turned into a werewolf. And they're like, time out, what? I'm glad, like, he mentioned Capwolf. I think the Captain America Capwolf story is dumb, stupid, dumb fun. But yeah, this comic isn't anything deep. It's just, let's fight Nazi vampires. And I think we can all agree, you know, between this and the two-parter of the Avengers battling a bunch of fascist tech bros, I feel like we kind of needed this in life right now. It feels kind of apropos. So yeah, it's pretty fun. It is kind of cool to see Baron Blood. Again, he's a very classic Captain America villain who we haven't seen in a while. So, and it also, out of all the villains you could have used for this tie-in, he made the most sense. It's a vampire event. He's a Nazi vampire. Use him. I also love the moment where Quicksilver runs into the crowd of vampires and goes, "You must think I'm stopping because I'm going to offer you a chance to surrender. Not when you're dressed like that," and just proceeds to slaughter these vampires. Anyway, so this was pretty fun. I enjoyed it. But yeah, you guys tell me in the comments below if you've read this. Comment below, let me know. And Chris, thank you once again for the comic. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.